Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show on Radio Jandu. The show is about conversations that matter, and we invite people from all walks of life to come and share their great stories of transformation, and it's about looking good and feeling good, and we have an amazing individual who's done just that. She's taken the world of sweets in a whole other direction. What we know of all the things that could really, are so delicious but maybe not good for us, well, that's not the case, because everything she touches is not only delicious, it's sweet, it's amazing, and it's shockingly healthy. So please welcome the founder of Shockingly Healthy, Lauren Breuer, to the show, and welcome back.
Thanks, Nikki. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. And Lauren has been on the show before, and we're happy to have her back. And what we're going to talk about, because it's just around the corner, Thanksgiving in Canada. So we're going to be, saying grace and thanking, our families, and especially the chefs in the families for, the preparation of amazing food. And we also have to be prepared for all the holiday eating. And possible weight gain. So what Lauren is going to do is she's going to show us a little bit about how to eat well and how to prepare some amazing healthy baking alternatives. So this I got to hear. So Lauren, tell us what are some of your ideas for baking during the holidays?
Yeah, so the holidays are always a time where there's just a lot of food. You might be craving
Yes.
all day before sitting down to a big meal. And as someone who loves dessert, it's always great to try to tweak it and adjust it in a way that it's going to make you feel good. I understand if it's a holiday, you want to indulge. It's not every day. And for me, it's more about not even worrying about the weight, for the odd day, the weight gain, it'll work out. It's okay. But you don't want to feel totally lethargic and bloated. And you don't have to if you make the right substitutions and the right choices in terms of your food. So I would say, we'll just talk about different substitutions if you're going to be making your own desserts. And so the first thing is, you want to think about what are the things that tend to make desserts unhealthy typically. And the biggest thing for me is sugar. So sugar in most desserts is it's the main ingredient. It's most of what you're eating. And I find, I don't know if you agree, Nikki, but a lot of desserts just kind of taste too sweet for me. It's even more than it needs. So
I agree.
The first thing you can look at is just decreasing how much sweetness is in there, and look at the most refined sources. So if there's, if you have something that has an applesauce and a sugar, the applesauce is probably fine. You can go for an unsweetened, but look at that sugar, and you can probably cut 25% really easily without having too big of an impact on the results. And the next thing I would say about that sugar is you can also try to, in my house, I'm a nutritionist. I have a healthy dessert company, so it's no surprise I have not had any white sugar in the house for years, and yet I make stuff all the time. So there's a lot of alternatives you can use that are, if you're having that sweetness, to have it coming from a better source. So
what are some of the sources?
Yeah. So the easiest substitution I would say is to use coconut sugar. So coconut sugar, what's great about it is that it's naturally low glycemic. So that means it's not going to spike your blood sugar, which is just going to change the way that dessert feels in your body. You're not going to get that roller coaster effect like you do with most desserts.
No crash and burn.
Exactly. It's got a beautiful caramel color, a nice rich flavor. It's just a really, really great ingredient. There's some even lower sugar options you could look at that are getting more popular, like stevia, erythritol. Those are a little trickier to work with, but coconut sugar is like a one-to-one substitute. The other ones you'd want to be looking up a recipe that works specifically for that, and there's tons online for that. If you like chocolate, again, that's something where there's sugar coming from
chocolate.
that. Yes, who doesn't?
That's my kryptonite.
Yeah, so I would say pick a dark chocolate. Again, you're just going to automatically lower the amount of sugar in what you're making dramatically by going with a dark chocolate versus a milk chocolate or a white chocolate is really very, very sugary.
And I hear, Lauren, that with the darker the chocolate, the better it is for your health because there's antioxidants in darker chocolate. Is that true?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so if you're getting a lighter chocolate, it's really more milk, which you're consuming, versus the darker the chocolate, the more antioxidant. So just have dark chocolate and drink red wine, and you'll be good.
Sounds like a perfect diet for me.
Yeah. And so some other elements of the dessert to think about are, again, that typical feeling you get is that roller coaster, the sugar high and crash. So other things that are causing that is that most desserts you're going to be eating mostly sugar, like I said. So what we want to do is substitute a little and try to create something that's more balanced. So the way I like to do that is to make sure we're having, I guess, like you said, lower the sugar and then add some fiber and add some protein. Because if you're looking at your ingredient list and it's mostly flour, sugar, all the things that are super carby, that's just it goes through your system really fast. And additionally, when you're eating, if you're having this after a heavy meal where I think most people are having some meat, the meat is slower digesting versus things that are all carbs digest really fast. And when the fast digesting food comes after the slower digesting food, that's what can cause bloating. So adding the fiber and protein to the dessert is going to slow the digestion of the dessert, so it's going to sit better, and it's also going to help to make you feel fuller while eating less.
Right.
So, I would say you could substitute, like if we're doing any kind of standard dessert that has flour in it, you could take a bit of the flour out and replace that with some chia seeds or ground chia or ground flaxseed, that kind of thing, to just increase the fiber. And protein, one ingredient, this isn't vegan, but one ingredient that I've been using a lot lately is collagen protein, which is a lot of effort maybe for a post-Thanksgiving, but if you like to make dessert in general and you want to make it balanced for every day, it's really cool. I find it has no flavor at all, so it's very easy to add it to whatever you're making. I would say even if you're making, I've put it in pancakes, for instance. If your recipe serves 4, I would just put about 4 tablespoons in, and then for each person's serving, you're adding about 8 grams of protein per serving in just 1 tablespoon, and it just has no flavor. It's not heat sensitive, so you can cook, bake with it. If you just look for labeling on that it's I forget the word, but there's something about the temperature. But yeah, it's a really great way. And there's definitely other protein powders you could use. You would just want to make sure that you like the flavor, but that's something that I found in general, regardless of the brand, can work really well.
Excellent. My favorite for Thanksgiving is pumpkin pie. Now, is there a healthier alternative to all the sweetness and the richness of what that treat is?
Yeah, so we have a food blog on our website. So I guess I would say there's 2 choices. One is that it's Shockingly Healthy. We actually created a pumpkin pie blondie that's available just seasonally right now. So if you want us to do the work for you, that's available. Ours is sweetened with dates and coconut sugar. And if you want to do something yourself, on my website, on our blog section on shockinglyhealthy.com, if you search, I believe we have a sweet potato pie, and you could just sub pumpkin for the sweet potato, and that one is sweetened with dates and just a lot cleaner than your average pumpkin pie. If you like to put whipped cream on your pie, I have one really easy DIY that's great. You look at a can of whipped cream, there's just so many ingredients. And so many people have issues with dairy these days that my favorite thing to do is I actually always keep a couple cans of full-fat coconut cream in the fridge. And so when you keep them, you can do a full-fat coconut milk, or now they actually sell coconut cream as well. So you keep it in the fridge. If you don't keep it in the fridge, just put it in overnight. And if it's the coconut milk, you'll open the can, pour out what's left of the milk, but most of it will be more like solid, or not solid, but harder cream. And I would say to 1 can, you can add about a tablespoon of maple syrup and just whip that like you would a whipping cream. And you have a very easy DIY, dairy-free, much lower sugar, very clean ingredients, coconut cream that's really beautiful on top of any dessert.
Well, that sounds totally delicious. And I'm definitely going to try that this weekend. So I know the listeners are looking forward to finding out how they can get in contact with you, finding out how to get some of the delicious and healthy recipes, and how to purchase some of your products. Where can they go?
Yeah, so they can visit our website at shockinglyhealthy.com. We have a blog with all kinds of recipes there, so lots of gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan. Everything is working with the same values and principles that we're discussing here of lower sugar, healthier sweeteners. We like to hide lots of veggies on the blog, so all kinds of fun things like that I promise you can trick your kids and your family, whoever you want to trick, you can do it. And then if you're interested in buying any or looking into any of our products, if you're not a baker or this is something that you'd like to eat on the regular, we have our flagship. I'll just tell you about that one item, but you can see the rest on the website. Our flagship is a brownie that is made out of whole cooked chickpeas that we puree, and it's sweetened with dates. So if you love chocolate, rich flourless chocolate cake, it's amazing, and I've actually also used it in a number of recipes as a crust. So the brownies are so moist that if you need a gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, and a healthier crust, you can start with our brownies. I find, I guess, just one quick recipe that I'll tell you right now is you could literally just press that into a cake pan. You could do the coconut cream overnight, pour your coconut cream in, and put some fresh fruit on top and put that in the fridge, and it's going to set beautifully. So that's just a really nice DIY. You make a pretty pattern with the fruit, and everyone will be really impressed. So that's
it will be.
Just a bit of a tangent from the product. But, yeah, you can go on our website on the store locator to see where you can get those brownies and our other products. We're available across Canada in lots of natural health stores, including Whole Foods, Nature's Emporium, Choices Markets, Planet Organic, Pusateri's, to name a few. But there's a handy store locator where you can just plug in your postal code and find the closest location.
Beautiful, Lauren. Thank you so much for just giving us all this information on how to eat well and stay healthy, especially during the holidays. So I just want to thank you for, imparting amazing wisdom on us in the culinary department. And I want to wish you and your family all the best for Thanksgiving. So thank you very much for your time with us today.
Thanks so much for having me, Nikki. I hope you have a great weekend as well.
Oh, thank you. You've been listening to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show with our very special guest, the founder of Shockingly Healthy, Lauren Breuer. Please check her out on social media. She has delicious treats for you. You can do it yourself, get all the inspiration, and know how to take better care of yourself and eat well. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.
Thanks. Bye.